Back again with this. Yep, thanks to the shocking support on my January 2025 review of SML, I'm gonna keep continuing with these videos monthly. So, SML January 2025 was pretty decent in my humble opinion. Some good videos, but also some rather weak ones. Will February 2025 be an improvement or not? We will see right now. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell. Totally optional, but be appreciated if you did. Without further ado, let's do this. For the first video of the month, it was surprisingly pretty decent. Not exactly good, but it's still something. Admittedly, my biggest issue with this video is that the first half did drag on. There were too much of characters talking, I feel like. Mostly in the scenes where the trio are talking at the beginning, and then Steve and Ronald's interaction. I personally would have just cut it down by a bit. Still have the scenes, so the trio are established to be relevant to the plot, as well as the McDonald's Squid Game meal. However, they didn't need to take up a bit of the video. I know Logan has gone on to defend these moments in videos by saying that movies have scenes of characters just talking, and while that is a fair argument, these are meant to be 10-minute YouTube videos. There's different pacing that needs to be abided by. I think if the two scenes I mentioned were cut down to just a minute for each of them, the first half would be easier to watch and get through. My only other big critique towards this video is that at least in the first half, again, the comedy is not that good. A lot of the jokes don't land, I'm afraid. Mostly the poop jokes, which really didn't need to come back at the end of the video. Also, Braxton being Jr. didn't really need to come back. The only jokes I found really funny in the first half of the video were the moments with Mr. Sharky and Cody. And I like how that comes back at the end. It reminds me of Shark Puppet. However, I will say, this video picks up big time in the second half. The second half is actually really enjoyable. As soon as the trio open their Squid Game Happy Meals and the Squid Game guard shows up, this video literally improves in nearly every aspect. The comedy gets way better, I love the Alec Baldwin joke, I love the scene of Junior Cody, and even the goddamn guard going slowly down the stairs. And most of all, I love the entire short scene with Chef PP and the guard. I especially love the guard's reaction to Chef PP being dead. Priceless. All these jokes are hilarious. I also just think the Junior and Cody getting chased and hunted down by the guard part made the video more interesting. Also, despite what I said about him beating Junior again, I like that Braxton's back. And finally, the ending of this video where Ronald gets arrested is really funny and good. Ronald and Trump were hilarious, and Brooklyn Guy was pretty good too. All around a 6 out of 10. Like I said, it's a decent video. Wish the first half could have been better, because if it was, I think this would be a truly good video. Oh well. I'll just cut to the chase. I didn't really care for this video. In terms of positives, I like that this video gets straight to the point. That is respectable. I thought the video was funny occasionally, like some of Brooklyn Guy's lines and the very unexpected joke of Rose's feet pics. Yeah. Also, the ending was honestly hilarious, not gonna lie. Jeffy is such a treasure sometimes, I swear. Although, a little bit of it reminded me of Jeffy's bad word with Jeffy yelling rape towards Marvin, so PTSD, I guess. That's really it for positives though. My biggest issue with this video is that the plot seems pretty unsure of itself. Like for example, Brooklyn Guy just takes over the plot for a while. Another example, there's randomly a plot point involving a murderer and Jeffy being accused of killing somebody. It just feels all over the place. I think this is simply due to how admittedly generic the concept of this video is. You can only go so far with the video concept without there being plot points that come out of nowhere in a not so very good way. It also results in just a boring nothing burger of a video. 3 out of 10. Not the worst thing ever, but I still really didn't like this one. Sorry I didn't have much to say for it, it was really nothing special. Now this is a step up from both the previous two videos as well as Squid Game 2 Part 4. I enjoyed this one a good amount. Also, before I begin, I will say that as of this video, I have watched the entire show of Squid Game and thought it was great. And knowing about the show now, I will say, this SML parody series of the show gets it down correctly for the most part. This video is no exception either. I think one of the things I enjoyed the most about this video was the inclusion of the VIPs, being portrayed by Goodman, Mickey, and Goofy respectively. I think that was a really nice tie-in to the show, and it definitely gave this video way more of an identity. Also, even ignoring the fact it's based off a thing from a show, Mickey's and Goofy's banner is hilarious, so it can still be enjoyed outside of a Squid Game parody. I also think the Glass Bridge game portion was pretty enjoyable to watch too, especially since it did get somewhat intense near the end like the good parts in this series. It was fun to watch these characters have a go at the Glass Bridge, one of the more intense games from the actual show. I also thought it was pretty cool how Hank said he used to work for a glass company, which actually ties into a plot point from the actual show. Granted, it's used in this video as a way for Hank to immediately die, but it's still pretty neat. I also really liked Jeffy in this. I thought him doing it backwards correctly was hilarious, and in general, Jeffy was pretty funny. And additionally, I thought the editing of the glass breaking at the very end was well done. If I did have any negatives with the video, more of Brooklyn Guy treating the circle guard like shit wasn't needed again. I would have again toned down Brooklyn Guy just a bit, although it wasn't as bad as the previous part, thankfully. Also, I felt like Hank and Suzette were seemingly thrown into this video. Dunno. I feel like they should have been established earlier in the series for this to make more sense and not have it come out of nowhere. It was still nice to see them included though, as someone who doesn't think the Hucker Jews are that bad. All around though, I enjoyed this video, giving it an 8 out of 10. Pretty fun to watch, all things considered. I'm mixed on this video. On one hand, most of the commercials in this video were pretty funny. The Dorito Man commercial was great, the commercial of Brooklyn Guy and the Chief was pretty good, the Pringles one was also good, and the P. Diddy one was very unexpected and darkly hilarious. However, while the commercials were pretty fun, it leads on to my next point that these commercials do interrupt the plot and the pacing of this video. I feel like these commercials should have played into the video's plot more so that they had true relevance. Honestly, this video can be pretty boring at times, and it's because it doesn't feel like a lot happens. The commercials yet again carry this video and are the weight to it all. Like, it takes a bit for the video's overall plot to get started, and it lacked a proper conclusion on top of it. It just needed more to it. Also, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were decently funny, at least in this video. Yeah, I know, I didn't really have a lot to say about this one. I just think the video's overall structure could have been better. 5 out of 10, I'd say. The commercials were definitely the highlight, but in terms of the overall video, it could have been better. I didn't really care for this video if I'm honest. I thought Brooklyn Guy, Marvin, and Tom Brady were good in this video. They were in character and there was some comedic value brought out in them. Also, there were some funny moments like the fourth wall joke of Brooklyn Guy not having any feet, as well as Goodman spanking Brooklyn Guy at the beginning to be hilarious. I also can respect this video for getting to the point right away with its plot. However, those are pretty much my only positives. This video is just boring again. I feel like there was nothing to this. I think it needed more jokes. There seemed to be a lack of them, I feel like, and this video could have definitely been better in the comedic angle. Also, it feels like not much happens again. The video wrapped up too quickly in the end, which is a trend I've noticed so far with some videos from this month. Also, that one scene with Marvin asking questions of Brooklyn Guy and Rose felt really pointless and was honestly filler. It didn't serve anything to the plot. I feel like a scene relevant to the plot should have been included here. And finally, I did not like Patrick Mahomes in this video. His Andy Reid joke is the forefront of his jokes in this video, which got annoying pretty fast. Mostly due to how repetitive it got. In the previous video, he had a bit more than just those jokes. However, it's just that joke I feel like in this video. I would have given him more jokes than just the Andy Reid joke in this video, and he would have been way more tolerable, I feel like. All around, 3 out of 10. It ain't the worst thing in the world, but it definitely could have been better if there was more comedy and plot. Oh well. This video is this month's prime example of missed potential. Why? Well, this video's actual plot has nothing to do at all with its concept or title. The video is supposed to be about Penelope and her whole Galentine's Day thing, which could have been a good video, trying to show more of Penelope's character. However, no, what this video is pretty much a video nearly similar to Jeffy the Spy in concept. Junior keeps making Palestine and Hamas jokes that get pretty repetitive fast, and then Brooklyn Guy shows up and arrests Junior and Cody for being terrorists, and then Junior and Cody have to prove they're American to be let go. The ending is literally the same too. The video also just has nothing to do with Valentine's Day in general either, so even as a Valentine's video, it isn't very good. To fix this video, I would have just gone for what seemed to be the obvious path and make it a Penelope-centered video and focus more on her spending Galentine's Day. Give her more screen time, you know? If the video went that route, I personally would have enjoyed this video a lot more, and it would have helped flesh out Penelope more as a character. And if you really wanted to include the plot of Junior and Cody being falsely taken in as terrorists and having to prove themselves as American, you could have possibly had that as a subplot. Something that, while yes, SML doesn't do often, still can do on occasion. Especially if there was a way for the two plots to connect with each other by the end, which could have been really easy since, you know, there's the obvious. Brooklyn Guy is Penelope's dad, aka the dad of Junior's girlfriend. Penelope's only in the beginning and pretty much disappears for the rest of the video, which is very weird for what the initial title and concept of this video was seemingly going to be. Even with all of this though, I think this video does have its positives, and with every video, even the ones I don't like or care for, it's important to go over them. For one, and is probably my biggest positive, I really like the very start of the video. Not the entire start when Penelope leaves for Galentine's Day and Cody and Joseph show up, no. I mean the very, very beginning, where Junior and Penelope are exchanging Valentine's Day gifts. I thought that part was pretty sweet, and honestly, moments like these are needed more in videos centered around Junior and Penelope's relationship. You can still have videos where they argue sometimes because it shows their relationship can have issues at times, like all relationships. However, also just like relationships at times, they should have sweet and heartwarming moments to justify them being together. In terms of other positives, I think the scene where Junior and Cody take the Are You American quiz was decent, at least comedic wise. I will say as well that Junior did get better in the second half of the video, so that was also good. Cody was also pretty good too, I'd say. Broken Guy saying "get out" in the Chief's voice was hilarious. And finally, I like that Bubbles returned again. I know he shows up typically during prison scenes, but he's always cool to see return since he's an old character. All in all, I'd give this video a 4 out of 10. It's not terrible, but I still consider it a bad video simply due to how much this video fumbled in terms of plot, as well as comedy for the first half. However, this video has its few positives that save it from getting a lower score. The final video of the Squid Game 2 series, and how was it? I liked it. I will say the Brooklyn Guy yet again being a dick to the circle guard was just as annoying a third time. Like, actually. However, want to know that wasn't annoying and was actually pretty great? Brooklyn Guy getting killed by the circle guard. Truly satisfying scene. Anyway, continuing on, the parallels to the actual show are yet again pretty damn good. Those being the dinner scene, the Squid Game, Brooklyn Guy killing Marvin, Jeffy wanting to end the games, and the VIPs making bets on the players. I thought the dinner scene was pretty good and funny. I also thought the VIPs returning was pretty neat, and Mickey and Goofy's banter was pretty funny again. The Squid Game scene was also enjoyable to watch in all fairness, mostly because of the emotional weight. That being because of when Brooklyn Guy killed Marvin. I love how much this adds to the video, especially towards Jeffy. It's so amazing to see these kinds of moments in SML. Also, Jeffy was genuinely great in this video. I love how he's fueled and energized for this game because of what Brooklyn Guy did to Marvin, which is pretty cool. All around, this video was pretty damn good. One of the only other things about the video I was a little disappointed by was that there wasn't a proper final reveal involving player 1 being the one behind the games like in the actual show. Technically there was with him being the one to give Jeffy the winning money at the end, but it was brushed off big time. Just would have been a nice conclusion for player 1, that's all. The only other thing I was both disappointed and confused by was that there was no reveal at all for who the identity of the frontman in the series was. Near the end of the first season of the actual show, it reveals who the frontman is. Surprised we didn't get that here in this SML series. However, I'd have to give this video an 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed this one a sizable amount. Already, this video has a decent concept. I know it might seem basic, but for a school video, it's something I'm surprised they haven't done up until this point. For the execution of the video, pretty good actually. The video gets quickly to the point, which is appreciated. Cody was overall pretty good in this video. Chef PP was notably great in this video, I feel like. He even felt like his old self at times, which was really nice. I also think the second half of the video was pretty enjoyable to watch, with the trio trying to get the cans and distracting Chef PP. This video's plot comes across as a 2017 to 2019 video plot, and I really like that. I especially like how during During it, Junior and Chef PP talk to each other about the cans in a somewhat intense way that actually comes off as very comedic, making it hilarious. As well, the very end of the video where Jeffy was the one to get Ken was pretty funny and a neat little twist to end the video off of. If I had any downsides with this one, I wish Junior and Joseph could have been better. Them being the final sendstone reason why Cody loses Ken was a bit much for the both of them. I would have just left it at the fact Jackie Chu was convinced Ken was just a doll and not Cody's boyfriend and took it. Also, the pacing can be a little inconsistent at times, especially in the middle. Thanks to the one scene that dragged on where the trio argued about a janitor and everything, it added nothing to the plot either, so there was a bit of filler. I would have just cut down that scene by a lot, which would make the pacing of the video more slicker. Although, despite my critiques toward this video, this was a pretty fun watch. 8.5 out of 10. Also, Junior still likes Thomas, let's fucking go! When I watched this video the first time, I didn't really care for it all too much. Upon rewatch, however, I actually liked this video way more, at least when they all get on the plane. The beginning scene on the red couch went on a bit too long, I feel like. I think it definitely should have still been the video to establish important things for the video, like Marvin being scared of flying on planes, the plane crashes that have been happening, why they're going on a plane in the first place, Brooklyn Guy being an incompetent pilot, and all of that. However, I think some of it should have just been cut down where it established mainly those four things I just mentioned, and also add a bit of jokes like the one where Marvin starts the car right after it cuts back from the news, mostly because I found that joke hilarious. And yeah, the beginning scene definitely dragged on. However, when they're on the plane, the video picks up big time, I feel like. Brooklyn Guy and Simmons I found to be pretty good in this. They have good jokes within this video. Speaking of jokes, I found the comedy in this video to be pretty decent. Examples being Brooklyn Guy having to talk to the passengers from the cockpit in that typical pilot voice, Jeffy in the background during the red couch scene where Brooklyn Guy is talking to Marvin and Rose, the snake on the plane due to how unexpected it was, also just was a neat movie reference, and some of Jeffy's lines throughout the video, especially when on the plane. And finally, I found the ending to be pretty damn good where the plane actually crashes. I love how the video is just a build up to said plane crash, and Marvin's fear of flying on planes helps with that a lot. All around, I'm giving this video a 7.5 out of 10. If the first half of the video with the red couch was cut down by a bit, I would have definitely rated this video higher. Yes, another Junior's Big Playtime video, so pretty much another series video. How was it? It was pretty damn good, all things considered. First things first, I will always love and appreciate the very rare moments when the original SML music from the channel's old days is used. Anyway, the beginning of the video is pretty funny, mostly in what Junior has to say. Then the interview scene with Junior, yeah. I found that scene kind of boring in all honesty. I didn't really care for it all too much. I would have put more jokes in that scene. However, Little T returning was as cool as always, and he was great in this video. Then all the scenes with Junior working were actually pretty good. There's a decent amount of jokes and comedic value to each of the scenes, and there's also interesting character interactions Junior has with others. Especially with Cody and Timmy, which Timmy's little song he sung being fucking hilarious. Literally got me to laugh. Hands down my favorite part of the video. Then of course, there's Rich Jr., which was pretty funny. This of course segues to the end of the video where Junior's drinking and driving. Genuinely hilarious and priceless. As well, Penelope being the reason why the playtime ends this video instead of Chef PP typically was a unique change up. Respect. All in all, a pretty funny video. 8.5 out of 10. A pretty damn good continuation. And the final video for the month. With that, how was the video? Pretty damn great actually, I really liked this one. Firstly, I think this video has a genuinely good message, especially towards the channel's younger viewers that I'd argue it unintentionally has. I like how the SML question is replaced with an SML lesson. That is a unique and genuinely helpful change up. Besides the message being pretty good, the video's comedy is great. Two scenes made me burst out laughing. The first one being when Barbara explains her, life to the class and there's all the censored bleeps. The second one being how at the end, Junior's head explodes with the explosive vape from Brooklyn Guy, and then it cuts to the very end, a visual of Junior being headless. Both of those got me good. Priceless. The video itself is pretty funny throughout, especially because of how much the video escalates as it goes on, with even Brooklyn Guy getting addicted to vaping. I loved that part of the video a lot. As well, the characters in this video were all pretty good and didn't really have a notable bad appearance. Broken Guy, Jackie Chu, Junior, Cody, Joseph, Penelope, Simmons, The Chief, PJ Crenshaw, Barbara. Everyone was pretty damn good, or even great in the case of some characters. Specifically Broken Guy and Barbara, I'd say. Pretty small, but Nancy, aka Jeffy's mom being referenced was pretty neat and cool. All around, I didn't really have anything bad to say about the video. It's not getting anything higher than 9 out of 10 for me due to how it doesn't do anything extremely groundbreaking for an SML video, or is like especially amazing. However, it's still a great video, is in my opinion the best video to come out this month. And here's the ranking for the month. Jeffy bites his tongue, Broken Guy loses everything, Galentine's Day, the Super Bowl Bamboozle, the Squid Game meal, the plane crash, Squid Game 2 Part 5, Junior's Big Playtime 5, Canned Food Drive, Squid Game 2 Part 6, the Vape Problem. All around, February 2025 for SML was pretty decent, just like the previous month. I did end up enjoying most of the videos. A lot of them being in the second half of the month I did notice though. Besides Squid Game 2 Part 5, the month started picking up around Squid Game 2 Part 6 and beyond. All around, I'm giving this month a 6.5 out of 10 as well. In terms of if I prefer February or January, that's tricky because January has the highest highs, 3 of the videos being 9 out of 10s and beyond. However, January also has the lowest lows, the lowest 2 videos being 2.5 out of 10 and 1.5 out of 10. As well, February has less amount of videos in comparison to January, so there's also that. I guess I'll give it to February and say that this month was slightly better than last month, but it was pretty close. For me, 2025 isn't looking too bad so far for SML. Hopefully March will be pretty good too.